Good morning. Today we will be discussing the worksheet that I have posted in the previous session. So look at the first one, state Euclid's division lemma. So this is what we have discussed in the previous session. The topic is about Euclid's division lemma. So for any given two positive integers, there always exist two integers q and r such that a is equal to bq plus r, where 0 less than or equivalent to r less than or equivalent to b. So this is what we have discussed. For any two positive integers a and b, there always exist unique integers q and r such that a is equal to bq plus r and r is always less than b, and it is so lesser it can be so less and equivalent to 0. So this is what we have discussed in the last class. Next, let a and b be two positive integers such that a is equal to bq plus p. So bp plus q, in fact bp plus q, and a is equal to br plus s. Now examine the statement of Euclid's division lemma. Now for any two positive integers a and b, we always exist, in fact we always arrive at two unique integers q and r, which means that for any two integers a and b, in this case p and q are unique, like the same r and s are unique. Or in other words, if you consider this, a is equal to bp plus q, p and q are unique, which means that there is only one p and one q. If at all there is another number which you can write in this form, then that should be equivalent to p, which means p is equivalent to r and q is equivalent to s on the same logic. So that is the case. Once again I repeat it. Now for any two positive integers a and b, there always exists unique integers q and r, which means that p and q are unique. That is, there is no number other than p and q where you can write a is equal to bp plus q, which means that if you are writing a in the form of bq plus r, that is in this form, now whatever the number you take here, they should always be equivalent to p and q, because p and q are unique. That is, there is no other number apart from p and q. For example, if you have some 5 and 3, now 5 you can write it as 3 into 1 plus 2. This is what you can write. If suppose if you are able to write 5 is equal to some 3q plus r, now this implies that q should be equivalent to 1, r should be equivalent to 2. The reason is, apart from this 1 and 2, there are no other integers. That is, q and r are unique. Therefore we say that whatever the numbers you write in place of q and r, they should be equivalent to 1 and 2, because this q and r are unique. So basing on this, you can conclude that p is equal to r, q is equal to s, because p and q are unique. So if at all you are writing this a in terms of bq plus r, this r and s should be same as p and q, because p and q are unique. So that is the way you will be writing, and this is the relation, p is equal to r and q is equal to s. Now look into the third one. A positive integer p is expressed as p is equal to 8q plus 9. Is this statement true? Justify your answer. Okay. So p and 8 is a positive integer, you can take 8, and for any two positive integers apply Euclid's division lemma, and they have given you p is equal to 8q plus 9. But we have this condition, 0 less than or equivalent to r less than b, which means that 0 less than or equal to 9 should be less than 8. But it is not true. So therefore the statement is wrong, because r is greater than b. Hence we say that the statement is wrong, and the reason is this, because r is greater than b. That is what you write. Next, given two positive integers a and 3, then what are the possible expressions for a? Now for any two positive integers a3, we always arrive at two more integers q and r in such a way that a is equal to bq plus r. That is what I write, a is equal to 3q plus r, where 0 less than or equivalent to r. Here b is 3, therefore less than 3. Now when r is less than 3, the possible values of r are 0, 1, 2. Now substitute each value in place of r. then a is equal to 3 cube plus 0, a is equal to 3 cube plus 1, a is equal to 3 cube plus 2. Now these are the forms in which a can be expressed. Now if we simplify this is same as 3 cube. This is 3 cube plus 1, this is 3 cube plus 2. Therefore the possible expressions for a are 3 cube plus 1, 3 cube plus 2. So that is it. Next, look into the fifth one. Let a and x be two positive integers expressed as x is equal to by plus c. If all the possible values of c are the first 5 non-negative integers, then what is y? So see, this is the expression x is equal to by plus c. Now this is the same as yb plus c, and here b is y, so the c should always be less than or equivalent to y. Now the possible values of c are the first 5 non-negative integers. Non-negative integers in the sense the integers which are not negative. So it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on, and it goes. Now c is first 5 non-negative integers, which means c takes the values 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. So when c is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, since c is less than y, then y should be equivalent to 5. The least value of y is 5. So that is it. So the value of y is equal to 5 because c is less than y, and the maximum value of c is 4. Therefore y should be greater than 4. Y should be greater than 4. It can be 5, it can be 6, it can be any number, but the least number is 5. It can be any answer from 5, it can be 6, 7, 8, so on. If they ask you the least positive value of y, it is 5. The least possible value of y is 5. Now for the time being, I suspend the discussion of question number 6, and then we go back to the 7th question. Let a and b be two positive integers such that a is equal to bq plus r, then which of the following statements are true? Now we have discussed this. Whenever we have arrived at this statement, a is equal to bq plus r, and we have discussed about a is either greater than b or a is equivalent to b. So the options are a and c. Next, 8th one. If a positive integer n is expressed as n is equal to 5a plus b, then what are the possible values of b? So n is equal to 5a plus b. Then using this we have 0 less than or equivalent to b less than 5. Therefore the possible values of b are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we need the difference between the maximum and minimum value of b. The maximum value is 4, minimum value is 0. So difference is 4 and 0, difference of 4 and 0 is 4. So that is it. Next, 9th one. For any two positive integers a and b, we have a is equal to bq plus r. Now if b and r are considered as sets, then is r empty set? Now for any two positive integers, there always exists some r. Therefore r is never empty. So that is the reason. Next, are b and r disjoint? Now r is less than b. So whatever the values you have in r, they don't belong to b. Therefore r and b are disjoint sets. Now we revert back to the 6th one. Now let a and b be two positive integers such that a is equal to b q1 plus r1, then b is equal to r1 q2 plus r2, and so on and so forth. Continuing this process, does it terminate after a finite number of steps? Of course it do terminate after a finite number of steps. Let us take some positive integers and we go about the same process that they have given you. For suppose say the two numbers are some say 10 and 16. Now these are here two positive integers. Apply that to arrive at q and r, divide 16 with 10. So 16 divided by 10, what do you get? 10 ones, and the leftover remainder is 6. So apply that. 16 is equal to 10 into 1 plus 6. Now that is the first statement. Now again take these two positive integers 10 and 6. Again these are the two positive integers 10 and 6. Divide them. So remainder is 4. Now 10 is equal to 6 into 1 plus 4. Now again consider these two. Repeat the same process. 1 time 4 2. Now 6 can be written as 4 into 1 plus 2. Now again take these two and continue the process. So this is 4 is equal to 2 into 2 plus 0. Now when you do this, if you take 2 and 0, you cannot do it because you cannot divide 2 with 0. So this is the last step. Therefore, which means that whenever you are given two positive integers, if you continue the division process like this, after a finite number of steps, the process terminates. The reason is this: 0 less than or equal to less than b. Now if you have observed, here b is 10 initially. So r will be always less than b. So it is becoming lesser and lesser and finally the minimum value of r is 0. So when r gets to 0, it will not move further down. Here r got 0, therefore it will not move further down, and therefore that is it all. So that is the meaning of this. So that's it.